Stay tuned for this barn house project transformation. Look at the state of this old patio. Completely failed, holds water, full of weeds. So let's rip it up. Pretty easy to lift these slabs. Pickaxe, sledgehammer, a couple of dots of mortar under each slab, so no real difficulty there smashing these up. Some of them are on soil, some are on a little bit of hardcore, but completely incorrectly installed. Took us about a day, just under a day, to get all this lifted. There you have it. You can see the soil there and weeds, and some of it's on sand. Bits of hardcore near the property, but majority of it was all incorrectly installed. Ripped the big step out. One wheelbarrow, one pickaxe, one sledgehammer, and lots of hard work. Here's the massive pile you can see. 17 tons of rubble. Much easier loading it onto boards here for a grab wagon. Cheeky little logo shot there. So now what we need to do is lift up all of these dots of mortar that the pavers were dabbed on. Dig a little bit of that soil out so we can get some more hardcore down. So as you can see there on the top layer, we've added about 100 mil of hardcore, a little bit more in some of the areas where it was just soil. And now we're rebuilding this little retaining wall. Reclaimed bricks here. We got a match as close as we could to the bricks on the barn. Couldn't match them exactly, but it's close enough. We've dug a foot in. Ballast mix for a foundation there. And we've got I think there's four high of these reclaimed bricks. Can't just be a landscaper and just lay flags. You have to do a bit of brickwork. We're not the slickest at brickwork, but we don't build properties. Small garden walls. That's that done. Bricks were all over the place because they were all old and battered, but matches the building. Some of the brickwork on this building is shocking. Little step dry laid out there, ready for installing. Some more hardcore there to move around as well on the floor. That's that step built, backfilled with hardcore, and we've got a little pattern there which you'll see later. Spray painted on the floor. Now it's time to get these sandstone pavers in. It's a little courtyard, you'll see more of that later. That's something we did there last week. Lovely views here. So, Candler Grey, 600 by 900. We've got a 5-and-1 mix there. 5 sharp sand, 1 cement. Pretty wet mix. I just find it helps to move it around on the trail a bit better if it's a bit wetter. You get better suction and compaction as well when you tap the slab down. So a full wet bed. Took a bit of time to get that in around that drain, but it's in. You got a string there at the back. We square off the property. That's a level and height string, so working the mortar up to the string gives you a better idea of how much is needed under the slab. This ball helping me lift this one in because it's got a corner missing. Caught the drain there after I spent 3 minutes squaring it up, so I'll pick that back up, it's not a problem. You can see the paver there, it's just above the string, which means we've got some tap down, which is what we want. Level across, and we're falling away from the property. Don't be scared to hit it, you ain't going to break these 20mm thick sandstone pavers. Thing with these as well, because they're riven, bibbles and bobbles in the pavers, you get spoilt when you lay porcelain, it's nice and easy, but these, they can be quite tricky to avoid getting bits of lippage, and there's about a 3 or 4mm tolerance in thickness across the whole slab, so it can be a bit tricky, but not too bad. It's one in. Let's get some more down. Reset that drain. So we're painting the backs of these with a primer as well, priming slurry. For any one of you guys that have had to lift a slab that's been slurried and primed correctly, you'll know that it's a no-brainer. Here we are knocking up that mix. Measure every mix so you know you got some consistency. Got water in the mixer. That little tub there, a bit of plasticizer, helps you to work the mix a bit better when you add some of that stuff. Now it's just about waiting for it to mix. Don't rush it out the drum. Make sure you've got a nice consistency. Add water little and often, don't chuck it all in. Look at that cedar clad on that outbuilding. Lovely little detail on there. Oops, barrow's gone. Make sure you turn your mixer off before you stick the shovel in. You know, avoid whacking it and hitting it if you can, because you'll only ruin it and dent it. So here we are knocking them in half, these sandstone pavers for the ends. Measured exactly in half, spirit level for a straight line. And just using a battery powered dewalt grinder. I know there's no guard on it, but I'll put it on tomorrow. I've got goggles on now. Using a blade from Abrax. Decent blades, they're only £10 each. Cut through this sandstone nice and easy. And then what we like to do once it's been cut is just grab the hammer and dress the edge so it looks a bit more natural and you haven't got a solid straight line. So we just tap away at the edges here till it looks the same all the way around. You see bits of sandstone flying off there where it's dressing the edge. Like I say, it only takes a couple of seconds and it's worth doing. Just watch out for your fingers. Here's our grab wagon collecting our hardcore. Now, these companies love collecting hardcore because what they do is they recycle it and sell it. And if we'd have used skips for this, it probably would have cost around £1,000. Whereas this grab took this whole load for just over £200, so no brainer. There we go, most of the patio in now. Got one more row to run in there. It's all nice and clean. Keep it clean as you go. It saves you the headache of having to do a chemical wash at the end. Just need to run a blade down that edge as well and square it up. Finishing off this step. There you can see the blue on the back, that's the priming slurry. Got about a 40mm overhang all the way around on this step. Using the level there to make sure it's square. Here are the black granite cobbles. Got about 500 of these to put in. Bit of a tedious job, but it's worth the effort. Manual handling. Cheeky logo. So a similar laying style with these cobbles. We've still got the string. The mix is a lot different though, so we're using a semi-dry mix now. You don't want a wet mix for cobbles because all they do is start floating around and moving. On a semi-dry mix, again, slurry the back. You see the blue slurry there oozing out the sides, plenty on the backs. Tap it down to the string. Now you're not going to be able to boat level these because they're just so inconsistent, so we'll just get one string on, get it as close to it as we can, eye each one in. They're all different thicknesses as well, so as well as you try and prep this bed, each cobble's, some are 40mm, some are 70mm, so that's the beauty of a dry mix, you can beat them down into it. We're doing between an 8 and a 10mm space in between each one. There you go, 7 in, 493 to go. So I'm just turning that one round because it just fits better. This one I've got now is a lot thinner. All that mix left over there at the edges, we'll use that to haunch them in, to lock them in, ready for grouting, or pointing should I say. Slurry bond, just dip it in, plenty on. Tappity tap. Got some knee pads on now. You can spend all your day kneeling down on hardcore. It's not good for your knees, so get yourself some knee pads. Now you got a better idea of the yellow paint that was on the floor. Client wanted this pattern. The reason they've gone for cobbles is because they've got such a large decking area, 45 square metre patio, and they didn't want to have all of the sandstone hard standing all the way across this area. They just wanted it to be a feature. And I don't know if you can see in the building, but there's blue bricks, little squares. So she had the idea of using these black granite cobbles to match. And you'll see later what happens with the infill. So that's all the cobbles in, 500. And there's the patio. Just filled up the gaps with a bit more hardcore. Got some membrane there. Not that there's ever going to be any weeds coming through, more to stop the migration of the red stone running and rubbing around into the hardcore, so it'll stop that from happening. Added a couple of plants. We've got a pleached red robin there on the left and 2 ilex balls there at the front. The customer is going to put some more pots and I think a bench or something to sit at a later date. Just washing all that quarry dust now off the stone, cleaning everything down. So traditional pointing methods for this sandstone. So we've mixed up a 3-in-1, 3 sharp sand, 1 cement. And it's a little bit less than, well, it's more on the dry side. A bit of water we've added, and all we've done is gone round and ironed it into the joints. Joints are about 20mm deep, so we know this is going to last. Better than using that brushing crap. And there we have it. That's the barn project complete. We individually hand pointed all in between those granite cobbles as well. It took about 3 hours, but again, traditional. It fits in with the building. Gravel's nice and clean now, bright red. A better look at that plant. That pleached red robin sits there quite nicely. All washed down, all the walls nice and clean now. All the cobbles are clean, granite's clean. There's your 600 by 900 candler grey. Traditionally pointed. We've just put a little bit of compost and topsoil around the edges of the lawns there where we've caused a bit of damage for the grass to grow back. Here's a little courtyard we did just before we started the patio. Again, we've ripped down those candler slabs to stepping stones, put some alpines and some grasses and bay trees and buxus. Again, just to make the area a bit more interesting, because they've got all that deck to sit on. Patio in front of the kitchen, so this courtyard's just a little bit different. Same as that area down there. So there you have it, lovely little courtyard area. This path will look a lot better in a couple of years once all of those plants have intertwined and grown. Lovely views there. The barn house project. Drop us a thumbs up and a comment, let us know what you think. Whether or not you guys would have done anything a bit differently. Thanks for watching.